Once upon a time, not too long ago, there lived a hare named Jack and a tortoise named Tim. Jack was always in a rush, always checking his Instagram account, taking selfies, and playing video games like Minecraft and FIFA Mobile. Tim the tortoise, he was much more laid back, enjoyed a good book or a cup of hot chocolate. One day, Jack challenged Tim to a running race. Tim, who was a polite tortoise, agreed. But Jack just laughed at him, saying, "You're so slow, it'll be a piece of cake." The race began, and Jack ran far ahead, leaving Tim in the dust. Jack felt so confident he decided to stop for a quick coffee break and to play one game of FIFA Mobile and to take a selfie with the coffee cup. Meanwhile, Tim continued to trudge along, steadily making his way towards the finish line. Jack was so caught up in his phone that he barely noticed Tim slowly but surely catching up to him. Finally, when Jack realized his mistake, it was too late. And everybody knows how this story ends, right? All of us love stories, the kinds we read in books, or even the kinds that I just modified a little bit, the one about Jack and Tim. This podcast channel, What's New Today, was born out of our love for stories, including stories based on the real world, stories about exciting new robots cleaning our oceans, stories about how extinct Tasmanian tigers or woolly mammoths are going to be brought back, stories about how Marvel superheroes are changing with time, and much more. Welcome to the 100th episode on this channel. This is Sangeetha, the host of What's New Today, a kids and family podcast. In this special episode, we get to hear the inside stories around how every episode of What's New Today gets made. I'm joined by two children who have featured in earlier episodes of this channel.
Hi, my name is Isha. I'm in grade 7. I live in Chennai and I really like reading, sports, and science. I play badminton a lot actually.
Oh, I love hearing about all these varied interests that you have. But about biology, I'm a little curious. Would you be comfortable cutting open a frog?
That would actually be okay because it's all about the things around us. Like if we don't know what's going on, like if you get sick or something, you won't know what's happening to your own body. And for example, you have a stomach ache, so you won't know what causes that.
Very interesting to hear that. And I know whom I can come and meet in the event of a stomachache, maybe 15 years from now. And on to our second co-host.
Hi, I'm Devansh. I am 8 years and I am in 3rd grade. I study in Lakshmipat Singhania Academy and I live in Kolkata. My favorite hobbies are reading books, playing FIFA mobile on my mom's mobile, and watching Minecraft.
Watching Minecraft. You play Minecraft or you watch Minecraft?
Watch Minecraft means not watch actually Minecraft. YouTubers make videos about Minecraft and that stuff and
Oh, wow, the things that y'all find mesmerizing. Very, very interesting to hear all this. So, welcome Devansh and welcome Isha. So, in this episode, we're going to be doing things a little differently compared to how we normally record, right? We don't have one single news story to talk about. Both of you have heard a lot of episodes on this podcast channel. And there are some listeners who are curious about how the episodes on What's New Today get made. So why don't y'all start asking me questions that may have popped up into your head about, how we make these episodes.
For each and every episode, there'll be like a completely different topic. How do you find like those topics out?
Thanks Thanks, Isha, for kicking off this episode with such a great question. But I'm a little curious before I answer that. Do you like that they are very different, or do you only prefer topics that you really like? Maybe just badminton and biology?
I like them because one of the episodes will be about tiger sharks, the other one will be about robots. Again, one of them was about video games. So I found it really fun.
You found it really fun. Okay, I'm so glad that you find the topics in the podcast channel very, very diverse.
So, there are two parts that help us maintain the diversity. One, we make a very conscious effort to keep every subsequent topic different from the previous episode. We have about 10 to 15 different categories: sports, movies, video games, technology, science, books, major events in the world like a war breaking out, or an earthquake, or a flood happening in some country. So that's one part. The other part is we try to ensure that the child who's going to be speaking about that particular topic has a reasonable degree of interest in that topic. For example, there's no way that I can record an episode about FIFA World Cup with a child who has no interest at all in football. Or I can't talk to a child about some interesting event that has happened related to a Roald Dahl book with a child who has never heard of that author or who has no interest in reading at all, right? So what happens is when we talk to kids, we also understand what their area of interest is. And from that, we get new clues to pick up topics. For example, there was a child, so one of the kids we were recording with from the UK, she was very passionate about climate change. So based on that, we were able to pick up that topic about the Dead Sea dying. Then there was another child, a 10-year-old from Mumbai. He was so kicked about playing Minecraft. So when we tried digging deeper into that topic, I found out that there was this high schooler who had built the entire universe on Minecraft, and we thought that was such a great, inspiring idea. So each time we come across a new child, that also lends itself to the diversity of the topics on the show.
Okay. Because like in these past 10 episodes, there was one about tiger sharks, one about robots, one about video games, and one about the comet. So like yeah, I really enjoyed like something completely different each time.
That's nice. I'm very happy.
I want to ask you a riddle now.
Just when Isha was talking about diversity, we're already off to a question, not about the podcast, but a riddle. Devansh, let's hear it.
What flies but does not have wings?
Time.
Right answer. I
I was right. Oh, cool. Okay. I even thought of the wind.
I have more. I'm going to ask you one more. How do you feel while recording a podcast with new children that you have never met before and never taken in your podcast episode before?
Wow, that's such a great question, Devansh. It's really very thoughtful of you. So, personally, I really enjoy interacting with children.
Most of the kids on this show, I've never known them before the time I sat down to record that particular podcast episode. For example, I never knew the two of you or your parents before we had recorded the podcast, right? I really enjoy talking to children and I love to listen to their ideas. So, not a lot of kids, however, may be comfortable talking to a complete stranger. So, it's my first and most important task before I begin a podcast recording is to make the child feel very comfortable and help them let go of their anxiety. So before we begin a recording, I usually chat with the child for a little while, get to know the child a little better. I also understand what the child knows about the topic so that I can structure the conversation around these points only, so that the child will stay confident throughout the course of the conversation. So we've recorded with a little more than 80 kids in these 99 plus episodes so far. I have personally known maybe about 10 to 15 of them. The rest, I met them for the first time only when I did the recording, just like I did the two of you. But of course, all of this is in my head that the child is comfortable As a listener, have y'all felt that any child was ill at ease in any of the episodes you heard?
No.
Yeah, so whenever a child talks about some topic, it sounds like they've already had past experience like talking to you. Like they know you, they've known you, like their parents are friends with you or something like that. So it doesn't feel like the child is like meeting you for the first time and they're just now learning your name.
Oh, interesting. No, most of the kids I have never met in my life, and no, I don't know their parents at all.
I was emailed this question by Aditi Bhale Rao, who is a fifth grader from SM Shetty International School in Mumbai, and her question was, "How do you get all of these audience laughing, and how do you get all these interesting sound effects in every episode?" Aditi, your question reminds me of a real incident that happened when I was recording or when I was about to record with a 7-year-old about sharks. But the last minute he got very jittery and he went and told his mother, "Mama, I'm very scared because, what if the audience doesn't clap for me?" So I just wanted to let you know there is no live audience while we record the podcast. All these sounds that you hear, like all of these are sound effects that are later added. And once the podcast is recorded, there is some amount of audio or sound engineering that goes on. There are also a couple of questions that we received as audio messages.
Hi, my name is Anushka Chakrabarti and I am in 10th grade from Assam. My question is, do you write a script for every podcast or do the children speak normally?
What a wonderful question. A lot of people have asked me this before, and no, we don't have any script written or anything like that. But before we record a podcast, the child, or sometimes we have 2 or 3 children also who join me in an episode, I do share the topic idea with these children ahead of time, and I also share some videos that they can watch and articles that they can read. Usually, the articles we share are ones that are written in a very simple manner that children can understand. And I also share with them the broad points that we will be discussing. Beyond that, once we press the record button, I have no paper or any script in front of me, nor does the child. We just go with the flow of the conversation of the day. And each episode that you hear is about 15 minutes long or so. But the actual recording process can be longer than 45 minutes. Because the children who do come on the show can get so excited. Sometimes in the middle of a recording, I've had kids who've run off to another room and picked up a book because they found something that we were discussing so exciting that they wanted to share what they had read about it in another book with me. So there is a lot that happens in the recording process which doesn't make to the final edit.
My second question is, how do the children who appear in the podcast prepare for each episode?
So her question is, how do children who come on the show prepare? So Devansh and Eesha, you all have both prepared for episodes before, right? Do you want to take a stab at answering this?
So my first episode was about can giant mammals or any mammals for a matter of fact grow to the size of dinosaurs or the size of King Kong or Godzilla. So when I was preparing for that episode, I got some news links and video links from you. So I watched those, but I had questions from those links itself. So I had to go Google it up, and then it was a really easy process. Kind of just reading, getting questions, answering those questions.
So you enjoy doing your own research?
Yeah, it's actually really fun. It's a much more organized way instead of like relying on someone else. But like the startup that you gave me was definitely needed. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known where to look for.
Devansh, how did you prepare for your episodes?
So the topic was about voice, animals' voice, our voice. What is the difference? Simple podcast, simple topic. So as Isha, you also gave me like I think two or three links, and I think one YouTube video. I wrote. I mean, read all those documents like two times, and then I prepared like some questions on those topics, and basically, roughly, it's done. The main thing that I had to prepare, how do animals get voices and how do we get voices? What is the difference? And those were the main thing I need to prepare. But apart from the documents, also, if you don't feel that the documents are sufficient enough, you can obviously um Google search the topic, and you will find like a bazillion results.
And how much time did it take for you to prepare? Isha?
For me, it didn't take much time, maybe 30 minutes at the maximum.
And Devansh?
1 hour to 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the reason it didn't take like an hour or 2 hours is because I already had like previous knowledge about everything that I was researching. So it wasn't like a completely new place and that I didn't understand anything.
Oh,
Wow,
okay.
wonderful. Devansh, Isha was just saying that she keeps reading about a lot of other things. Maybe she uses other sources of information also. Is there a way you try and keep up with current news stories?
Like, I don't watch the news or anything, like nothing. I don't want to know about what's going on. I just want to stay in my own world. I just don't want to like know about others in the open world.
Okay. But when you're listening to the podcast episodes, they're all about things that are going on in the world around us. Do you find that interesting?
Yeah, because it's like presented in a very like interesting way, and edited also very good. I like the edit, whatever clap and you do. So they're like very interesting, and it's like the other people are that from all over India, like talk with you, and it's like very interesting.
I'm so glad to hear. I'm very happy to hear that you find the way we present this as a conversation with kids, filled with a lot of riddles and some interesting music and sound effects. You like that. Very thrilled. Awesome.
And now let's wrap up this episode with one question that I have for both of you. What's your most interesting part of each episode?
Trivia time.
I usually like the riddles at the end because like it keeps me like waiting. So like if the riddle is in one of them, the answer is in the next one. So I'll be like waiting when the next episode would come out. So that way it's like a motivation for me to listen to that next one.
Oh, cool. We'll remember that.
I have another riddle for you. Which tire of a car does not turn when the car turns right or left?
Which tire of a car? The two rear wheels.
No, the spare tire does not move. The spare tire does not turn.
I love that riddle.
Can I tell you a riddle? There's a blue house. Everything in and around it is blue. There is a red house. Everything in and around it is red. There is a yellow house. Everything in and around it is yellow. There is a green house. What color is that?
White.
No. Do you want a hint?
Greenhouse for capturing all the carbon dioxide. So they'll grow plants in it. Okay.
No.
Yellow.
It's usually made out of glass. It's usually clear.
And that's almost a wrap. And before we end this episode, can you recommend two episodes that you really, really loved listening to?
Episode number 83 and 91. Obviously, you will know that I am.
83 is the Minecraft one. So I can completely understand why you loved it.
Which was about a green comet that has come to Earth after 50,000 years.
For me, my first one was uh, how is the Dead Sea really dying? I think that was episode number 86. So that one I really liked. And then I also liked the one about the war between Russia and Ukraine and how it's affecting the rest of the world.
I really loved hearing all of these four recommendations because they are fairly diverse. One is about a video game Minecraft, one is about space, a green comet, one is about the Ukraine war, and one is related to climate change. So, if any of our listeners would like to listen to these episodes, you can find links to these in the show notes below. And that's the end of our 100th episode. Can you believe it? We've had so much fun talking to all of our amazing guests, children, and a few adults who've shared their awesome stories with us. And we couldn't have done it without all of our listeners. You guys are the best. Seriously, we've had listeners from over 30 countries, and we're so grateful to each and every one of you. We also want to give a big shout out to our team of super cool producers and sound engineers. They are like the Avengers of podcasting. And let's not forget our social media and marketing teams. They make us look so cool on Instagram. Thanks to everyone who has helped us get to this epic milestone. And with that, we're signing off for now. We'll be back with more fun, funny, and amazing episodes soon. Stay tuned and remember to like, subscribe, follow, rate, and review us wherever you're listening to this podcast. And thanks for listening.
Bye.